The Washington Post has revealed this 38-page prospectus proposing a U.S. trusteeship over Gaza for 10 years, transforming it into what Trump calls the Riviera of the Middle East. Ginger Chapman, how do you view this plan? What's your reaction?
Well, first, Mark, thank you for having us today. Greetings to your viewers and your guests from Ramallah. And first, the American people were surprised at the extent of this plan, and there is no way for this plan to be carried out without committing war crimes and crimes against humanity against the Palestinian people of Gaza. And indeed, this appears to be Netanyahu and Israel's way of forcing the United States to take the heat, to take all of the criticism and the consequences of the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians, their displacement and expulsion from their land, and indeed the creating a permanent welfare state out of the Palestinian people using these digital tokens, trapping them into small enclaves in Gaza or shipping them out of Gaza altogether. And instead of their right of self-determination, they will be governed by corporations. So this is an ongoing extension of the crimes against humanity being committed against the Palestinian people. And indeed, Israel's biggest problem is what to do with the Palestinian people. They have 2 million people, they want their land, and they cannot convince any other country to take these people off their hands. Now we see the tragic results where Israel is resorting to essentially just slaughtering the people in Gaza while they're trying to come up with alternative arrangements. For America and for President Donald Trump, this will be a permanent trap where essentially Israel is pushing off their responsibilities and their war crimes onto other groups. And indeed, remarkably, we have seen over the last couple of weeks, Biden's former cabinet members and spokesmen have been giving public interviews saying that during Biden's administration, they were lying for Israel and covering for Israel. We saw his spokesman, Matt Miller, and then Jake Sullivan, and now Josh Paul, all former Biden cabinet and spokespeople, saying that during the Biden administration, they were constantly lying to cover Israel's defiance of a ceasefire. They said that Israel had been constantly sabotaging and undermining the Biden administration's efforts to work through a ceasefire. And this is all coming to a head right now because it is untenable what we're seeing in Gaza. Even the United Nations is finally putting their foot down.
Indeed. Well, let me bring in Murad Harfoush. I'd like to get your reaction and take to this news. Also, reports suggest that Washington and Tel Aviv are drafting a controversial post-war administration plan for Gaza. Is this a genuine attempt, do you think, to impose long-term control, or is this some kind of pressure tool to use against Hamas? What do you think?
Greetings to you and your audience. It is no doubt that the American stance aligns with the occupational state stance, which commits monstrosities and crimes against the Palestinian people. What was highlighted yesterday as the prospectus in Washington Post clearly indicates that this plan comes into the pretext of forcefully displacing the Palestinian people. In January of 2025, Trump said that he wishes to transform Gaza into a Riviera of the Middle East. And this comes in alignment with the vision of the right-wing fanatics of Israel, and also in regard to the continuous ethnic cleansing done in Gaza against the Palestinians, and no less than 165,000 injured and others under the rubbles. The infrastructure in Gaza is devastated. This Israeli war, continuous war, want to make Gaza a lifeless place, a place no longer inhabited by its origin inhabitants. Netanyahu is leading this war of ethnic cleansing against the Palestinians, and in partnership with the United States, who supports him with infinite support, and it is done by Trump's administration, the current administration in power. They want to further weaponize Israel and give them more war machinery, and unfortunately they are blocking the international community's efforts which aim to stop the war. Also, the current American administration won't impose sanctions on Israel, and they won't declare Netanyahu or key figures in the Israeli cabinet as criminals of war. And the ICJ, who saw and labeled who labeled Netanyahu and other Israeli key officials as criminals. And today, the Society of Scientists, who declared that the current government in Israel is consisting of a bunch of warmongers and those who cheer. Also, it also comes with the in light of the continuous and prolongation of the war and the ethnic cleansing conducted against the Palestinians. We disapprove of this plan, which will lead to forcibly displacing the Palestinian people, and I hope they won't be successful in their endeavors in displacing Palestinians from their lands and violating human rights as they do. And the UN said about the right to have patriot rights of the Palestinian people. So we want the one state who opposes the establishment of Palestinian state on a Palestinian land is the United States. The one who offers infinite support for Israel is Donald Trump and the current administration in the United States. So the majority of those who martyred during the war, 18,000 children were among them, and also thousands of women died by the hands of the Israeli soldiers in this ongoing conflict and aggression. This bloody, monstrous war against the Palestinians, who are being massacred under the eyes of the world today. In all the capitals throughout the world are people calling for a ceasefire, but the Israeli occupation, and through the infinite support they are getting, they are continuing with the ethnic cleansing and the war by